Hello there YouTube, my name is Chuggy and today I'm playing some Battlefield 3, playing some Conquest on CN Crossing, and today it's question time part 3. Yet again you guys have sent in some absolutely fantastic questions about all things Battlefield, and today I hope to get through as many of them as I can. If you have any burning questions, anything like that you want me to answer, be it Battlefield or anything at all really, stick it down in a comment below. I'll have a read and I'll talk about the questions next episode. Anyway, talking about this gameplay quickly, this was actually until I think it was Chip Off the Block 99 and the Monk Within asked for some rush gameplay and tips. This was going to be Assault Win, so you're basically going to see me running around as an assault. First with the L85A2, as you can see, and then with the AN94, doing some damage, being an assault player. I'll leave that there, I guess. Anyway, now, I had one question which I failed to answer in part 2, question time part 2, and that came from Fail Noobs, who asked, what's my thoughts of the Gun Club exclusive pistol? Now, for those of you who don't know, EA run this, kind of like reward scheme really, called Gun Club. Essentially, if you've ever played an EA shooter, we're talking Mass Effect, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, you can sign up to this website for free, and basically what it does is it rewards you with in-game content in later games. Now, Battlefield's in-game content was the M1911 pistol, and as well many of you will know, it's my sidearm of choice. It's an absolutely incredible piece of kit, as ironically I'm not using it in this game. Lovely. Yeah, the M1911, it's a powerful pistol. You get 9 shots when you've got the extra one in the chamber, 8 if you just fire it completely dry. It's a great pistol, very powerful. If you're the kind of player who likes to have 16 or so rounds though in your pistol, you want plenty of ammunition, it probably won't be for you. You only get 9 shots and you've got to use them wisely. The M1911 though, just in general, kills in 3 to 4, and I've got collaterals with a pistol, for God's sake. It's a lovely pistol, cannot say better than that. I love it. So well worth just signing up for Gun Club. As long as you've played like a Medal of Honor, a Mass Effect, something like that, you'll get credit for it. When even previous Battlefield games. Then the next time you fire up Battlefield 3, you should notice it and you should get it. Great pistol. Cannot recommend it highly enough. So thanks for the question, Fail Noobs. Now, the next question comes from Meldona07. And this is actually a really common question which I've been meaning to answer actually for a while now, which is essentially, can I add you to my friends list on PSN? And the short answer is, unfortunately, you won't be able to. It won't let you. My friends list, lucky old me, is full. Pardon me. Unfortunately, as you can probably guess, that means that no more people can be added to my friends list. Obviously, as a result, I can't add people, you won't be able to add me. However, I plan to try and somehow get around it. Now, it's a temporary measure, I don't know if that's the right word, but essentially, I've got myself a Twitter handle, an ID on Twitter, as Chuggy, same spelling as this YouTube channel. In fact, I've even put it on the channel page if you want to be doubly sure. Essentially, where, if I'm playing a game or something like that, I'll tweet, oh, I'm in server blah, come in and join me, or, if anyone's about, I'll tweet that much, and essentially, hopefully, get some coordination, get some subscribers into games, that kind of thing, because that's something I've been missing so far, so hopefully, that'll go some way to helping that side of things. And yeah, guys, just sorry I haven't been able to add you by de facto. Hopefully that'll go a long way. I know not everyone has Twitter and all the rest, but it should go a little way for now while I try and figure out something a little better, I don't know. So thank you for the question. In fact, the next question is from you as well. From Meldono07, I should say, and it's basically what button configuration do I use for flying helicopters? Well, in short, it's legacy sticks. My word, I'm surprised that legacy sticks is not the default, at least on console anyway. I don't know about PC. Essentially, it makes the flying much like the Bad Company series, where pretty much everything's mapped to the right stick. It makes flying a lot more intuitive, a lot more straightforward. And I cannot recommend it highly enough. I've got legacy sticks on the jets as well, although I'm not as good with the jets. But I'm trying to get a jet gameplay in the near future. Someone asked for it, so I'm going to give that a good go as well. Anyway, so the next question today comes from Fallout Man 112 again, with a great question, and an interesting topic actually, and one which I'll probably, perhaps go on a few tangents with, I don't know, we'll see. Essentially, Fallout Man asks about the concept of noob weapons, and he paints a little picture in his comment. Essentially, he was in a game, he was playing with the farmhouse on one team, and a friend of his was on the other team using the L85. And essentially, after a few engagements, with the farmhouse winning, presumably, the friend called him a noob, or a noob for using a newbie weapon, let's say. And his question is, what do I think of this phenomenon? Are there such things as newbie weapons? In short, yes. However, I think most weapons are classed as newbie weapons, though, for the wrong reason. I think a lot of people get the concept of an overpowered weapon confused with that of a newbie weapon. Now, an overpowered weapon, it doesn't take much to define it. It's a weapon which, compared to all others in a game, clearly excels. And, just as nature is, as humans and all the rest, we tend to, gravitate towards, anything which gives us the upper hand to make our job easier. Take, for example, the UMP-45 in Modern Warfare 2, 2-bullet or 3-bullet kill all ranges. Why use a sniper rifle when you can go fully automatic with a submachine? Submachine gun. There was no point to using any other weapon. This thing just beat everything else in all possible situations. Actually, frankly, that's one of the many reasons why I stopped playing Modern Warfare 2. So I think that's one side of things. However, I think that there can be such a situation where you're called a noob for using a quote-unquote newbie weapon where, the weapon itself isn't overpowered. Now, I think the big contribution, especially in the farmhouse's case, is that it's not that it's an overpowered weapon, it just properly excels when used properly. And you get to the point where someone who has to work very hard with a weapon which should, in theory, fail spawn for that chap, I'm afraid, in theory has to work very hard to, try and beat someone, perhaps unfairly in their eyes. Now, take the example of, let's say, an assault running around with an assault rifle. How many times have they been beaten, say, by like an SKS or something at close range, purely because that weapon does 50 damage or so, let's say, a shot. Actually, no, it's only like SKS is 30, I think. Anyway, it takes 3 or 4 shots to kill. It can be fired very quickly. The chap playing the assault has no chance. That guy obviously will get quite frustrated, annoyed by that fact. In theory, the assault rifle should win out. It doesn't always work like that. Games are, basically sport. The characteristics of the weapons, and actually I'll save the stuff about characteristics for the next question. The characteristics of weapons and such, they're not quite accurate. Really, I think a newbie weapon isn't necessarily an overpowered one. I think it's more of a thing which you tend to experience game by game. So, I've been in the situation where, I've been killed by someone doing far less work. I mean, for example, I play recon a lot. I've got to calculate bullet drop, adjust my aim, be aware of things around me, all sorts, and I just get killed by someone who runs with a submachine gun up behind me. Their job comparative to kill me is, much less. And, I'll shout, I'll shout, you damn noob, or something, I'll just get very frustrated and annoyed. So, to kind of answer the question without me, babbling much more, I guess, yeah, I think there are such things as newbie weapons, but not because they are easy to kill with, but mainly because, in a given situation, a given time, the weapon is just, better suited. I don't know, it's just the way that, the game, I guess, doesn't really play out as it should. I don't know. I'm really rambling here, sorry guys. So yeah, hopefully, that answers your question. But it really does properly, nicely roll into the next question, which comes from, Lancer J. And this is actually a really, really fantastic question. Essentially asking about how representative I think the statistics of the weapons are in Battlefield 3. It's a great question, and as I've kind of already alluded to, basically the stats are all over the place. If you wanted a realistic simulation of war, not a lot of people would like to play a game based on a realistic simulation of war. Because let's think about it, at the end of the day, all weapons are designed to kill, and, weapons try and outdo each other, First we have the shotgun, which, we had to, when we fired 2 shells, dechamber the shells, put 2 more in, etc. That was surpassed by the semi-automatic, which pumped the next shell in automatically. That's been surpassed by the fully automatic shotgun, which fires everything all quickly, It's one of those things, as things, improve, advance, the weapons invariably will become better. And, that doesn't necessarily make for a good sporting experience, let's say. Now, let's say, you know, again, using the USAS 12, yeah, I'll keep rabbiting on about it. You know, the USAS 12 is a fully automatic shotgun by nature, and you couldn't really get away with it being in a game where it's not fully automatic. It needs to be, you know, realistic in some way, much like, you know, a sniper rifle should do a lot of damage when fired. You know, a shotgun should, you know, when it's a fully automatic shotgun, should pump out a lot of shells very quickly. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily make for a balanced, you know, fun experience. So, you know, the game creators, they have to take artistic liberties, I guess, as they make the game. You know, for example, the M98B fires a Magnum caliber round. That will kill at any range, you know, will blow arms off and such. Would that be fun in a game? No, because everyone would be running around with these wonderful weapons which destroy everyone in one shot and, you know, cannot be replied to. You know, I guess that, you know, what I'm trying to say here is there are points where you have to take liberties with the way that the game's created. Now, the great example that Lancer J here gives is that in Recon Win Part 2 I talked about how the SVD should be used at less than 100 meters, whereas the SV98 as a bolt action should be used at more than 100 meters, let's say. And he said, you know, the interesting point about that though is they both fire the same cartridge in real life, and they do. You know, surely if this were, you know, a proper depiction of war, you know, they should do the same amount of damage at all, you know, the same ranges, and surely the SVD as a semi-automatic sniper rifle should be clearly superior, I guess. And yeah, that's the logical deduction. But just as the game has been designed, has been played out, you know, the SVD is counted as, well, as far as I see it, a battle rifle. You know, it can't do the long range work as effectively as a bolt action, because, you know, it kind of makes the bolt action weapons redundant, you know, it supersedes them. What's the point of having a weapon which can be beat, basically? You know, and I kind of actually really touched on this, I should say, in Assault Win. You know, all the assault rifles do the exact same amount of damage. You know, it's only the way that they handle themselves which make them, you know, unique, different. You know, an AK, for example, with its bigger, I think it's a 7.62 round, will quite clearly, you know, do a lot more damage per round than a 5.56 fired from an M16. But, you know, the AK in real life has some drawbacks. It's not as accurate as the M16. So, you know, there's a nice sort of balance there, but just as, you know, the game's been implemented, it's not quite like that. Do I mind that, I guess, is the next question. No, not at all. You know, as things turned out, it gives the players, I guess, as they play the game, every opportunity to beat any other player with any other setup fairly, you know, in a straight confrontation, let's say. Take, for example, that kill there with the M39. First of all, I call a little bit of, not sure about that on lag, but I thought I'll leave that aside. You know, I have an assault rifle. I wasn't able to get the rounds downrange into him. He was able to take me out with the, you know, the M39 there. Perfectly fair, you know, other than the fact I wasn't able to, you know, I don't know, portray myself in an accurate manner. Damn noob weapons. You know, it's one of those things. So, yeah, the weapons as they're portrayed in the game, no, it's not accurate. Does that make it bad? Not really. You know, you just, I guess, have to adapt yourself to the way that the game plays itself out. You know, it's kind of like, you know, certainly when I've been revising for exams and stuff, especially as of late, you don't tend to revise the material as much as you do, then you try and understand the structure of the exam and thus, you know, prepare yourself best for that. You know, don't learn how to, you know, say remove a round from an L85 when, you know, it's jammed. You know, learn how you can, like, press triangle twice and cancel the reload animation. You know, learn the rules of the game and use the rules, you know, in the good lights and the bad lights to your advantage where possible, I guess. That is where you'll start to beat opponents, and that is where you'll start to show yourself as a better player. Not perhaps the best way to look at it in terms of implementation, you know, of a realistic shooter, but mind you, does Battlefield place itself as a realistic shooter? Not really, it's still a bit arcadey at heart. Anyway, that kind of rhymes up that one, and actually it kind of moves on again, again, USAS 12 talk here, to Corn ELP1's question, who I've actually, you know, I've responded in comments to, essentially talking about the USAS, you know, how it is, you know, the way it is at the minute. You know, if there's a patch or anything, this will all change, I would hope. You know, it's an easier task to kill someone with the USAS than pretty much anything else. And he makes the point, you know, well, you can bring out a USAS equally so and beat them and show that you're the better player. Again, you know, kind of going back to the noob weapon bit. Yeah, absolutely. Why should I have to do that, though? Change the way I play the game? Not so sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for all your great questions, and, well, I've run out of time, unfortunately, yet again. Sorry that this has been a bit rambly, but some really difficult questions, almost theological. Well, no, that's the wrong word completely, but, you know, certainly, you know, you have to consider a lot of stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed the questions, hopefully you've enjoyed the gameplay, and guys, as always, thank you so very much for watching. So, you know, if you have any burning questions, Battlefield or not, you know, leave them down in the comments, more than happy to answer them. You know, if you could leave a like, a dislike, whatever you believe the video deserves, that'd be great. And if you're new to my videos, you can always subscribe for more content from myself. So guys, thank you so very much for watching Question Time Part 3, and I'll see you out on the battlefield.